Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Raw Daddy Hour, hosted by yours truly, Raw Daddy himself. Grandma, you tuned in? You should be. I want to introduce y'all to my guests today. I have Miss Milan Matthew to my left. The drip god, you see him. Come on now, you see him. You see the stripes. Shad as well. Milan, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Milan Matthew, and I don't know, I'm a social media person now, I guess, people like to say. But I like to share my culture, my fashion, and just me.
Cool.
Why she being so like
Modest.
a social media person?
No.
Influencer.
Post a little bit, 4 times a day. And 7 on the stories. But today, what we have for you guys, we're going to be talking about how to rediscover your passion. So maybe you're passionate about something and you're kind of in the thick of it, right? You set that year-long goal, you're going through that process, and you kind of fall off a little bit. It gets a little old, it gets a little daunting. How do you rediscover that fire? How do you get that burn, back inside? So first, let's go, Shad. What is your current passion?
Man, that's pretty hard. Because I'm passionate about a few things. Number one is just my health. I'm very passionate about my health. That's something that I literally, that comes before anything else, like career, like photo, filmmaking, all that stuff. Like my health, working out, eating right, that comes first. After that, I would say filmmaking. I'm passionate about that. That's something that is a more recent passion as well over the past few years. Just really getting enamored in that type of that realm and field. My passion is slowly growing in that area as well. I'm not gonna sit here and ramble off all the things I'm passionate about, but those are like the 2 main things that I'm passionate about right now.
Milan, what's got your interest right now?
Well, I wish my passion was health, but clearly it's not. No, one day. But I say my passions right now are creating, just creating fashion, just building my brand is something I'm really passionate about now. Graphic design was something I was passionate about, but not as much anymore. Just, you just move on as people grow.
My 2 top passions right now are people. I love the psychology of people, why they think about what they think about, what goes on through their minds. That's why I started this, because I love to hear people's perspectives. I hate small talk. As you all know, if you end up talking to me for any 2 minutes, it's going to get deep. We'll talk for 4 hours. So I'm very passionate about people. And then secondly, it's filmmaking. I love storytelling. I love starting in one place and going somewhere else, watching a character evolve through time. So movie making and filmmaking are my 2, people and filmmaking are my 2 biggest passions right now. And everything else, I'm passionate about health, but I can't say that I'm at a level of obsession with my health. I love it and I want to be healthy, but I can't say that it's an obsession. So people and filmmaking would be my passions. So Shad, I want to start with, let's go with I think the most relatable one would be the health right now. That's an easy one to get bored with, fall off. You know what I'm saying? You start eating that 1 burger and lose a 2 burger, 3 burger, you know what I'm saying? 4 burger.
Double meat.
Double meat, you know what I'm saying? Heavy hands, you start to pinch turn into a handful.
Right.
But I know you're not like that. I've had experiences with you, so I know you are anti-heavy hand.
Yeah.
How do you stay committed to such that passion is so fair weather for a lot of people.
Yeah.
How do you stay committed to that?
I don't know. I mean, I wish honestly, I wish I had an answer for that. I just think it's a person to person thing. Everyone has their, I feel like a lot of things that go on in your life really kind of influence how you go about living your life from a health perspective on a day-to-day basis. For me, it's innate. I just enjoy the process of working out. Like going to the gym, like first off, going to the gym for me is just something, it's like a release it's a creative release. It's a place where I can just literally spend hours and just take my mind off of all the bullshit that's going on in my life and just focus on myself. When it comes to like eating, I mean, that's like, again, for me, I'm just not someone, I don't like to consume consume like large amounts of food. But I don't want people to think, because feel like people think that I live like by a book when it comes to like just health lifestyle. I have my vices. Like I love like pizza. Now that I might not want all the toppings on it, but you give me a whole pie, I'ma body it. You know, like so I do. I think when it comes to that, I do have balance. I do have flex. But for me, like to be honest, like my health like journey has always been a constant mental just like battle, and not battle in a bad sense. It's just like I always want to see like how can I push myself. Like it's always about pushing myself, being dedicated to something. Like I'm not like if I'm working out for some time, there's times where I just kind of stop, or I might take a few days off and I don't beat myself up over it. You know, I just know that okay, like we on the same boat. How you feeling right now?
Sore.
You know, like I take time off, and when I get back into the swing of things, it sucks. But then like I love the feeling when you get those strength levels back, when you're able to lock in on an eating regimen for like 2 months, 3 months, and you see your body transform. Like I enjoy like seeing those type of things happen, you know. So it's a constant struggle back and forth. But again, it's just, again, like we talked about in another episode, it's about passion. And if you're passionate about it, the journey, the process of it, it doesn't sway you either way. You just enjoy the process.
Now, Milan, you are in a interesting, I would say, field, because while we all create content, you are in a more fast-paced realm of creation, and that can be extremely difficult to keep coming up with ideas, to keep trying to keep things fresh and new, and just I feel like you have to have a level of passion that's not even real to be able to create that much that often. Mm-hmm. How do you not get burnt out, or if you do get burnt out, how do you deal with it?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I have so many ideas. So right now in my life, I'm nowhere near feeling burnt out. So it's more like I need a little bit more time management to create. But there's a lot of things that affect my creations, you know, like my lighting, my backgrounds, things like that. But other than that, like ideas, like I just love everything I do. And I feel like I'm in a spot in life where no one is controlling me. Like I'm not relating to like a 9 to 5, like I do this full time, right? And not that 9 to 5 is bad, it just wasn't my route. But just having like I'm just a person that feeds off like, okay, now I'm really myself, I'm able to do what I want, and I don't have to worry about anything else. So that alone is so much motivation for me. And like I just feel like I was just born to like create and show people like my culture, who I am, and help them through whatever I'm doing. So all that is like feeding me and giving me positivity. Another thing is like my mentality. Obviously when you're younger you care about like other people, what others think. I just feel like now I'm getting closer and closer to like just worrying about me. And that's like the best thing, dude. Like once you realize like no one else, like not to be like selfish, but like, you know, a little bit, like you have to be in nowadays, like I just don't care about anyone else. I'm sorry, like at the end of the day, like I'm gonna pick me. I just spent way too much time not picking me for all these years, and now it's like I finally found that I need to pick myself and just keeping creating it. There's no burnout nowadays.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you on that. Shad, I want to kick it to you in the filmmaking realm, right? Because with us, we're in a different type of filmmaking, and we're constantly having to come up with well, because of our style, we're constantly having to come up with new ways to make the same things, right? Everyone who comes to us, it's new client, but I want what you did with them, but can you make mine, you know what I mean, come from the sky when you do that one shot, right? How do you continue to want to do that when, as we talked about the other day, nothing is original these days? You know, everything's been done, right? You can try to do it better, you can try to improve on it, but everything's been done. So how do you stay committed and passionate about filmmaking when, you know, you're always asked to do the same thing but different?
It's hard, man. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's hard because, again, like you said, when you work in a field where you have clients, and a lot of what drives a lot of like ideas is the viral nature of things. People want things. People. Just be honest. People want to make videos so that they can go viral. So they're always looking at other pieces of work and trying to replicate it in some manner, and then try to bring their own originality to it. For them, it's a one-off, or, you know, a couple times. For us, we're always doing it, so it becomes very repetitive. Someone may come to you with an idea and they may think it's fresh, but for you, like, damn, I did this thing like 5 times already. Like, I want to do something different. There's no way getting around that, you know, unless you're in a space where you don't have to take those kind of jobs, where you can just be like, okay, look, I don't want that kind of job. I'm just going to only focus on fresh ideas and things like that. But that's a small sample size, right? For someone like me who, you know, again, I'm taking on a bunch of jobs here and there and things like that, and a lot of the ideas are the same. I think it's very important to set aside time to focus on passion projects. If you're a creative who has your own ideas, and there are things that you want to bring to life, you're always going to be more passionate and feel like those things are fresh in your eyes. So I know for me, like, I try to like set aside like time, or like just really lock in, you know, passion projects, or just even if it's not even a passion project, something that I put my like 100% of my creative input into, because I feel like that kind of breaks the monotony of having to shoot the same thing over and over and over, and you not really having too much creative say in it. Because let's be honest, a lot of time clients come to you and they have an idea. In your mind, you want to do something else, you might suggest it, and they're like, oh, I don't really know about that, you know, and it doesn't come out the way that you would like it to come out. So I think it's just about having balance and finding time to do what it is that you enjoy doing, whether it's in filmmaking or cooking or whatever type of service type thing that you do, finding a way to do something that you are genuinely passionate about. And there are people who, you know, they just enjoy all the client projects that they get. You know, that's their creative outlet. Like, they just want to pick up the camera and make stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like at some point, when you've been doing it for a while, you will get to that point where you're like, yo, I'm tired of doing that kind of stuff. I'm trying to do something different. Yeah. So, yeah.
No, I'm definitely with you on that. I mean, my ebbs and flows with the filmmaking passion are definitely noted. And I feel like if anyone has watched me over a period of time, they can see it, because that monotony that you speak of, that is what kills my passion, for sure, you know. And like you said, I try my best to empathize with clients, because, like you said, for them, this is the first time that they're ever doing this thing, and this might be my 12th, you know. But at the end of the day, I have to bring that same level of fire. I have to bring that same amount of passion to their project as well. I think one of the things that I've started to do in recent months is let go of projects that I know will not stimulate me. And that doesn't even have to be like I have all the creative control, but there might be something in this project that's going to challenge me to be better than I was. I crave growth, and I learn very fast. So once I learn something, I don't want to do that stuff no more, right? Once I get to level 3, I ain't messing with level 2 no more. So I'm now craving projects where it's pushing me in an area where maybe I'm not that strong, or allowing me to sharpen an area that I am strong. So one of the things that I've started to do was kind of steer away from projects that I know once I say yes, I'm going to hate my life for the next 4 or 5 weeks or however long it takes to complete the project. And I think that's something that introspectively you got to look at. Like, okay, yes, I love filmmaking. That does not mean that I want to do every single type of project that is involved in making a film. Because what that did to me when I was doing it is I was like a roller coaster. I don't know if you've ever been to Cedar Point, but they got like this one called the Millennium Force that goes really high up and then really far down. And that's how I was feeling. You know, I would have these moments where it's like, let's get it, promise. You know, let's do it, jungle. You know, all these things. And then I would have these moments where I'm like, bro, I just want to sell all this stuff. You know, you start looking at the, dang, man, I did spend like $5K on cameras. You know, I could really just take that and put it into something else. You know, you start to look at those things. And so, I do try now to be on more of an even ground. There's still going to be highs and lows, but I'm trying not to make them as drastic, you know, and the way that I've been able to do that is to what niche down, kind of like you said, like niche down. Like I want to do specifically projects that tell stories that allow us to be creative with our angles and our lighting, speaking lines, like that have all these that allow me to truly get in my director bag like I want to. And that allows me to kind of reignite that passion. And then the passion projects just give it an extra boost. You know what I mean? It kind of gets me going higher and higher. So Milan, I know, I mean, you're only like 23, but has there been a passion that you've had, maybe graphic design? I know you went to school for graphic design and you started in graphic design, and that was before the social media explosion, you know, famous now. But back then you were a graphic designer. When did you know that was not the passion that was going to continue on into your 20s?
Oh, man. I went to school for it 4 years, loved it the whole time. Me and my classmates, like our bunch, it was like 25, 26 of us. We all loved it. There's no doubt anyone would say that. Once I started working, I worked 1 year of corporate. Okay, I would do internships in between, but that was nothing compared to this 1 year. I graduated, immediately started working. Man, they killed my vibe so hard. Like, it's all about money and power. And for me, I was just this new designer trying to just do design. I was a app designer, and there's, you know, it's not just like visually. There's a lot of like math and things behind it as well. And logically, designers who went to school for it know why you're designing things. You know, there's like research behind it, things like that. But these people, like the clients that we were assigned and our bosses, it's like, do what the client says. It doesn't matter if it's going to work. It doesn't matter if like users care about this and that. It's what they want. They're paying for it. Just things like that. And then I would have creative ideas, and it's like, oh, we can't do that. The developers don't want to, or they don't want to. It's like not that they can't, they don't want to. That plus being overworked, being underpaid, all these things. And I know I was a talented designer. You know, like that, it was a hard program that we went to. Just things like that. On top of me doing social media, it's like I loved social media so much at that time too. Like my YouTube, my Instagram, whatever, I was recording, editing, working, all that on top of my 9 to 5. So I'm literally waking up like 6, 7 a.m., getting to work, getting home 6 p.m., recording, filming, editing to like midnight, and repeat the cycle. So I was doing that. And if I'm that passionate to where I'm like sacrificing sleep so much, but it's not on purpose. I just loved it, you know? Same thing, like even in school I would do it. It's just me. And that's when I realized when it's not making me happy anymore. And I was really devastated because it's something design was making me so happy. I was like, this is my life. I can't wait to do this forever. And then like they really like killed it so hard. I don't think it's all like just corporate in general, just specifically that company, like they really did ruin it for me. No regrets speaking on it. I don't care if they see it. I'm out of there, bye. And then during COVID, I'm very much like a sign person. So during COVID, a lot of designers were like, not laid off, like temporary leave. And then like my social media, I got to spend more time with it. And the results, you know, there were so many more benefits. I went back for 1 day, 1 meeting, and I was like, it's done. I quit on the spot. And I said, that's it. You can pay me for today, and goodbye.
You can pay me for today? I'll still take that.
And goodbye, and never looked back since.
Dang, that's Yeah, that's like some movie shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
for
like
real.
some stuff you write about, some Steve
Dude.
Jobs.
And I quit, and the next day my like main video like popped off, got like 13 mil views, and I'm like, if this is not a sign, I don't know what is. Like literally the next day.
Wow. Talk about a seamless transition. You know, my transition to get to filmmaking, from where I was to get to filmmaking, wasn't necessarily that linear. I thought my passion was everything to do with swimming. I've done everything that you could do in swimming. I've swam in college, coached high level athletes, lower level athletes. I've been a part of government. I've helped write legislation. I've done all these things, and I've managed pools, managed swim lessons, all that. Thought that was going to be it. Like, you know, I thought I was just going to work my way up, maybe coach an Olympic team or something, you know, something like that. And actually, for me too, when I got into corporate America was when I found out, hell no, because now it's not about. I was never a salesman. I was never good at like the selling portion of swim lessons and all of that stuff. But I was good at putting people where they were supposed to be, putting them where they needed to be. So, for instance, if you sell someone a private lesson, that's like $200 a month, versus selling someone group lessons, $60 a month. What does the company want you to sell? They want you to sell privates. But every person that walks in my door does not need private swim lessons. And actually, some of them won't even benefit from it. Some kids learn better in a group environment. They need the social settings. They don't operate well under private lessons. So I was very good at that. People would come in like, oh, I got this 2-year-old that I want to put in privates. I'm like, no, you don't. 2-year-olds don't need to be in private lessons. They need that, you know, school type feeling. So, you know, that was my thing. But the company wanted you to sell more. They're like, no, you gotta push them into this and make more time for privates and all this stuff. And I'm like, but that's not, like, my kids are progressing, like they're doing good. Like, I don't understand why I have to do that in order to make money. And of course, as we all know, you know, at some point, what you love has to net an income that provides you the ability to live. So then I kind of just got into filmmaking by chance, just kind of like, bloop, just kind of dipped over there. So let me see what this is like. And 2.5 years later, here we are. So for me, yeah, my transition out of what I thought was actually it was a passion for a time. It's not that I thought it was a passion for a time, but I reached that limit. I got to, that cup is full, you know, and I can't see myself going back to it. That's how I know that it's done. I'm at this portion of my life, and maybe this takes me till I'm 40, I don't know. But I do think it's important for people to be able to identify when it's time to let go of a passion, because sometimes it's not worth rediscovering it. You know, athletes do that all the time. MMA fighters is a perfect example to me of when you gotta let that passion go. Because when they don't let it go, they go get their ass whooped, and now they got brain damage, and they walking around looking crazy because you didn't let it go when it was time to let it go. So Shad, what's a good example of a time when you were able to let something go, let something be, and kind of, I mean, when you do let something go, you're able to put more of yourself into this newfound love. You know, I know you said filmmaking is a newfound love. When did you know, like, okay, let me let everything else go and really just pour into this and become great?
Yeah. For me, it was my transition from track and field athletics to kind of like the normal person life. So when I was competing and I was coaching, and like for me, like track and field was like, coaching was like, just like you, like I was like, okay, this is it. Like I'm gonna move up the ranks. I'm a coach D1. I'm gonna do all these great things, and it just wasn't progressing at the pace that I wanted it to progress. And at the time, I was still competing as well. So that's when I decided to move down to Texas. Moved down to Texas. And I stopped coaching, and I was still competing. I was still running, training, and things like that. And track and field is a sport that's notorious for. So for number one, as a professional track athlete, you don't make any money, like unless you're like the top like 5%. Like those guys are making bank. But like the middle level guys, like equivalent to like NBA bench players, like track and field athletes don't make any money. They're making like, you know, they might get a $90,000 contract over the course of like 3 years or some crazy shit like that. So at that point I was like, you know what? Track athletes are notorious for like overstaying their welcome in the sport. Like it's a young person's sport. If you're not running fast, you can't make money. Like if you go to a meet and you don't place, you don't get any money. So I was just like, you know what? It's time for me to hang the spikes up. So I didn't have any, like, I already knew within me, I was like, when it comes to my time, I'm not going to have any problem trying to chase after something that I know I'm not going to, attain or whatever the case may be. So once I did that, transitioning into like my newfound passion, it was pretty easy. It was just kind of like I needed something to fill a void, and I just honestly, it was crazy the way it happened. I just bought a camera and started taking pictures of like my meal preps that I was making for people, because I was personal training at the time, and it just snowballed from there, from taking pictures of food to taking pictures of people, and then the taking pictures turned into actual filmmaking and video and things like that. So and that passion just grew because I'm a visual learner, and like I have a bit of an addictive personality. So once I find something that I like, it's like that's all I tend to see in the beginning. And if I really like it, I have no problem with being in it long term. So being able to like leave the coaching realm and come like and do something different was pretty easy for me. There are times where I do miss like coaching track and field. When I working in the school, I coach, grassroots kid, like the youth athletics and things like that. It's the same, but it's not. But but at the same time, again, I utilize a lot of those things that I learned as a coach and apply that to people that we tend to work with, like when we do shoots, because the way that you communicate and coach an athlete, you can use that same style of communication when you talking to talent on a set. So I still utilize those tools, but I don't regret leaving anything and going to something else. Life is about discovery. Life is about constant development. If I wake up tomorrow and I want to do something different, like I got ideas of stuff I want to do, and I'm already putting those things in motion. But I feel like the way that the world is, and I know I'm kind of getting off tangent, but I got to say this. I feel like the way our society is at this time, and just like the influence of like social media and people's opinion, is very easy for someone who is interested in doing something else that is not the normal or what someone else sees them doing, is really easy to get deterred and not want to do that. Like there could be a 30, 40-year-old person who wants to, I don't know, start making music, but there could be someone, they'll post something and then people will be in the comments like, yo, you too old to do that. Do what you want to do. Like you said, like stop giving a fuck what other people think. Like it's going to hinder you. It's going to hold you back. I really like that mindset nowadays. Like I really have that mindset. Like I don't like I rarely care what people think unless it's people in my like tight circle, like my friends. Like if they say, okay, yo, like maybe you should do this different, because I know they have my best interests at heart. They know me. But someone who doesn't know me, I don't care what you think. I really don't. I'm gonna do what makes me happy, and that's all that matters.
So what advice, Milan, would you give to somebody who maybe is in a slump right now, right? They know what they're passionate about, but they can't really get out of this funk, and they need to get back on the horse, right? What advice could you give somebody who needs to get back on the horse?
Yeah, it's all about taking a step back, reevaluating where you are in life. Like first off, like why are you in the funk? Maybe there are substantial reasons, like this is going on, that's going on. I would say like write a list, and it also comes with like a place of getting to know yourself. Like I feel like I know myself pretty well. Obviously there's more to know, but still, like, so you just got to know like these processes. When I'm in a funk, I write down everything that I feel like I could improve on. It's also a little bit about, the title, rediscovering your passion. Maybe start with, why did you even want to start this field anyway, like whatever you're doing. Go, like, I think, okay, for me personally, everything's like online, right? You're not really in nature and stuff. So sometimes it's good to like step away from everything, even in design. Like, they would say, like, designers, you're always on the screen and stuff. Step away and take inspiration from real life. So do some things that's not related to your stuff. Like, go volunteer, go talk to some new people, go do something, right, go rock climb, like something you're not used to, and you're like stimulating other parts of your brain which you're not used to, and it opens, and it could like lead to a connection back to that. So it's not always like, I'm in a funk, I need to focus on this funk. It's like, step away from it, like literally everything will work out. And sometimes like you need that, you need to be in a funk because you need to take a step back and push yourself more. So it's never going to be just linear, it's always going to be like down backs, and you're going to have to like jump over it. That's just life.
No, that's huge. Definitely the stepping away piece. That is very, yeah, because you can get so in it that you just get entangled, and now you just like, like for me, it's hiking. Like Shad knows, I love to hike, and people think it's weird. Like some people think it's weird. Like I like to go on like hard hikes, like not like, oh, I'm gonna just walk up this. No, like I like to go on hard
26-mile hikes.
Yeah, I like to go on hard hikes, and it's so different from what we do. Like it's no screens. It's just looking out at dope ass views, and just, I don't know, for some reason it motivates me to want to make better films. It kind of lets me see, like kind of a different perspective on life, and just be more appreciative of what I have, and it allows me to clear my mind. I think especially for millennials, Gen Z, like our minds are constantly flooded with just stuff. And if you're constantly flooded with stuff, and you're also trying to figure out how to get out of this rut, like you said, I do think it's a great idea to go do something that you don't normally do. Hey, man, always bringing it back to athletics, but that's what we grew up in. Like, if you're doing the same sport over and over and over again, it's not a problem to go do another sport for 2 months. That's why they promote that in children, to prevent burnout. Your kid's not supposed to play the same sport since he was 4 years old. Go let him play baseball. I get it, he's a basketball player, but he's still gonna learn things from baseball that will come over to basketball. I learned things on my hikes that translate over into filmmaking, right? Or into whatever my passions are. People, right? Being able to push through barriers. When we were hiking in LA, we about 75% through the hike. All right, this is the hardest part, let's run it. Let's run this piece right here.
Y'all are crazy.
Why? Because now it's like, all right, well, I done did all this and I do feel accomplished, but I could be even more accomplished if I just run this part, right? That helps me to be able to push through difficult times with people. Like I said, I'm passionate about people, but people let you down a lot. And you got to get over that. You have to be able to get past that, look through it, and still continue your faith that people will be great one day. And that's a more literal interpretation of that by running the hill, but it still ingrains certain things in your mind. So I'm very big on stepping away so you can, like you said, propel forward and faster. Shad, I'm gonna let you get the last closing remark, man. Any advice that you could give to people about their passion? I know you're pretty good at this stuff.
I mean, like you guys kind of really hit the nail on the head. Like I'm a firm believer. Like we're talking about rediscovering your passion, right? Discovery is like one of the roots of that title. In order to discover things, you have to explore. So like, I'm a big proponent of like traveling. Like for me, when I travel, like that opened my eyes to like so much stuff. I think the other piece of the traveling is when you travel, you need to do stuff that you don't normally do. So don't travel and sit in the hotel and go eat and do stuff you could do in your hometown. Like go to places and put yourself around the people, get immersed in the culture, eat different foods, do different things like that are going to stimulate your mind, because those are the type of things that give you fresh ideas, motivate you to do different things. It might, again, and even if you're in doing something that you are not passionate about, it may shift your focus into like, hey, maybe this is my passion. I work in a cubicle, and you go to some country and you start doing volunteer work, or you start teaching kids or something like that, and you might end up seeing, oh, maybe I want to be a teacher, So I think, again, like you need to do a lot of discovery and finding out, like you said, Milan, finding out who you are or what makes you the person that you are, and just really, again, traveling, doing, and then you don't even have to travel. You can do those type of things in, close proximity, but doing things that are different than your normal daily routine, just to kind of see, give yourself a different scope of what life has to offer you. So, yeah.
And that's going to do it for this episode of the Raw Daddy Hour. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Grandma, appreciate you. You've been showing love the whole season. I love you. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.